Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. Frank here. Got another little project to play with today. In the last, one of the previous episodes, I was working on this hit or miss engine here. It's an old Maytag engine from 1928. And we got it running. Runs pretty well. And I teased you a little bit at the beginning of that one. Got something else here that you might find interesting. So this is another Maytag multimotor. So it's a newer model. I think it's a 1938 or 39, I think. I have to maybe look up the serial number again, but it's late 30s. It is a 2-cylinder multimotor, and it looks like about in the same condition as the other one. It came in the same lot. It's this is boogered up. This pulley is certainly rusted and pitted, but it looks like it's been cleaned and repainted. This is smaller. It weighs like half as much as the other one. And just looking at the skid that it's on, so it's much smaller. I don't know what the horsepower is on this one. The other one was 3/4. I'm going to say this is comparable since it's 2-cylinder. It has a smaller flywheel, and so generally just a smaller engine overall. So we'll play with this one and see if we can get it running. Check it for spark. Can't get to the points or governor through the cover of this one like you can the other one, so we'll take that off and check that out. This is the air control, and then the fuel tank's underneath. And again, it's the same 2-stroke engine, very similar Kickstarter. And I think this is supposed to be an oiler, can go in here. These don't have, as I understand it, none of these engines don't have ball bearings. They're all bronze sleeve bearings, bushings. So, okay, let's get started on this. Tiny little spark gap on these plugs, 10 or 15 thousandths. Let's see if we get a spark here. Yeah, it's kind of tough to find a place to ground this to. Maybe there. Well, I see a spark. don't know if you can see that, but there is tiniest little spark. There you can see both of them sparking simultaneously. Alright, so that's good. We got spark. This may be a short video. Put fuel in it and start it up. I do want to take the flywheel off and at least clean the points. So let's do that. So what is that? 3/4. Alright, so you can see the magnets inside the flywheel. Alright, so this has a more conventional arrangement for the points here. So we've got, it looks like a lobe, a cam lobe on the crankshaft. Opens the points there. Alright, so I'm going to clean that off. There's a lot of debris on here. This is pretty dirty in here. It's got a little ceramic capacitor. So since we have spark, I'm going to leave that, even though the one on the other one was bad. That doesn't look like the best connection there. It looks like, well, it's the same on both sides. The copper wire spark plug lead here is just wrapped around what looks like a terminal or a wire coming out of the coil. That should be soldered. So maybe we'll do that. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. It says contact opening 20 thousandths. It's a little bit less than 20 thousandths. Yeah, I'm going to say it's about 18. It's set to about 18 thousandths. Based on what I'm feeling here. Just a little bit under 20. I'm going to leave it. Yeah, it looks like they put some insulation paint on that wire. But if you ask me, those should be soldered on there, I think. All right, but it looks like the points are operable. Just cleaning with some fine sandpaper. This is 320 grit. All right, I'm going to put a touch of grease on the cam lobe. Just a little bit. Okay. This nut, this bolt, end of the flywheel, so all right, I say we get I got another muffler. Let's put that on. All right, I say we put some fuel in it and give it a try. Good thing I came outside to fill it since I spilled a little bit. Someone put this white mark on here. Oh no, wait a minute. It's paint coming off. Alright, it's white plastic. I'm going to open it a couple turns. So I put a few drops of gas in each cylinder, thinking it wasn't getting fuel. Brought it back inside here, and turning it over with the drill, no result. So I'm thinking now there's a spark issue. We were getting a spark before. Now I wonder what's going on here. No spark now. That's weird. No spark. I swear we had spark before. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. Well, that screw actually was loose. There. Let's just check and see if we have continuity across the points when they're closed. Looks like it. Feels like there's compression. So the three things you need, of course, are air, fuel, spark, and compression. I guess that's four things. But fuel includes air, oxygen, and gasoline, compression, and ignition. And the fuel has to come up. This is the air intake here. And I'm going to say the fuel's coming up out of the tank. So in order to get to that, we need to take this off the tank. So I'm going to go ahead and let's unbolt this. Tank is full of fuel, so I'll either have to... There we go. Drain it. Oh, it's pretty full. It's very full. So I'm going to take this outside. I mean, so the tank doesn't look bad. I mean, it's got some pitting in here, but it's aluminum. Well, that's great. That just twisted off. If you can see in there, it was threaded onto this brass tube, and it just, so I'm going to, all right, so that's coming out. So I'm looking at where this threaded tube broke. And it looks like there's, a place where it broke recently, but it looks like it was cracked across there. I'm going to say this might have been sucking air. It would prevent the dip tube from pulling fuel up from the tank, perhaps. There's still a little bit of thread left on the end here. So that does thread on there. That might be, that would be far enough down into the fuel. Since the fuel was almost up to this surface, that should be far enough down. So maybe that will fix it. Alright, so let's put it back together and try again. Well, I've got spark. Feels like there's some compression. Doesn't feel like a lot of compression, but it does feel like it has compression. And even with starter fluid in the air intake, I can feel, if I put my finger over the intake, the air intake tube, I can feel a little suction. and I can feel air coming out of the exhaust. But even with good spark on the spark plugs, and I checked that again just now, and starter fluid in the air intake, it won't fire. So I wonder if it's a compression issue. I can feel some compression. I've been away from this, working on this motor for a couple weeks, waiting for parts and busy with some other stuff. And what I've gotten, we were looking at this a little bit ago, and I get consistent spark on this wire, but not on this wire. So I suspect an issue with the coil. The other concern is even with one wire sparking, one plug sparking, you would think that I would at least get some ignition in this one cylinder. So I ordered some parts, and I didn't even get ignition when I put starter fluid in it through the air intake. So that concerns me quite a bit, because starter fluid with a spark, you should get some ignition. So I did order some parts, more parts from Flywheel Supply. I got some new piston rings, a couple of new spark plugs, new coil wires, spark plug wires, and then a few other parts, a new dip tube, which is supposed to have a little valve in it, check valve, which looks like it's here. I don't know if there's even one in this, and that may be part of the issue. I'm not sure. I did order another condenser. Price was good, so I just went ahead and ordered it. There's a return spring. I think that's the return spring for the foot pedal, if I need that. They sent me a couple cotter pins. Not sure what I need them for. But anyway, a few things in here. So we'll continue to work on this. First thing I'm going to do is replace the coil, and then we'll see what our spark situation is, try to get ignition one more time, and then if we can't get ignition that way, then it's pulling these cylinder heads and looking at the condition of the cylinder, and it's fuel, it's spark, and it's compression. Fuel including an air mixture. So we'll check the fuel tube here. We'll have to take the engine off here and check out the fuel supply. That may be plugged, but spraying starter fluid in should have gotten ignition. So that, if I have a spark, I've got air going in, starter fluid going into the air with the airflow, and I could feel it sucking air in and pushing air out the exhaust. With spark, we should have ignition, unless there's inadequate compression. There isn't a whole lot of compression, I can tell. So maybe that's where we'll wind up going. But let's work on the coil first. So this is the new coil they give you. So I think it mounts like this. So we'll work on this and replace this first. It's got it looks like it has two different coils. So I may have a bad coil on one side. anyway, we'll check it out. Screw here with the clip for this wire. It's just a little piece of cedar, soft wood. It's not taking much, it's coming right out. Reuse this piece of cardboard. Get the new one on in the same orientation here. It goes right on. We'll replace this little piece of cardboard here. I think it's just a shim. Alright, so this goes back on the magneto plate. This goes back on the magneto plate, just like this. These grommets are pretty decrepit. So there's this little cardboard shim I'm trying to get behind. There's a metal tab on the housing. There we go. That's to hold it secure. Get these screws back in. All right, I'm seeing a spark on this one. I'm seeing a spark on this one. All right, so they both are giving me a spark. See if we can get a little bit of ignition here. This is some starter fluid. I don't know if this is... And I went back in, adjusted the points again to 20 thousandths. So I've decided, since I've got, pretty sure I got fuel, I put some in the cylinders, and I got spark. The only thing left is compression. So I'm going to re-ring it. I've got the rings. I've done one cylinder, one piston. We'll do this one. Limited access to these bolts, but once you get them loose, they tend to come out by finger pressure. All right, so that's top ring. Second ring. Bottom ring, that one broke. All right, so this is the bottom ring, and then there are two narrower top rings. All right, that went in pretty easily. And we don't want these ring gaps to line up, so let's rotate one.
I have a ring compressor, but I don't think it doesn't go this small. All right, that's the first ring is in. Second ring is in. So you want the exhaust cylinder side to be, the exhaust port side to be on the bottom here. Exhaust manifold. Screw this in temporarily just to make sure we have clear. Yeah, I can blow through that. Look who's here. It's my brew brew. Come here, brew brew. Being a good boy. Yeah, my good puppy. Daddy loves you. Yeah. My good boy. It's been kind of cold and wet today. Dogs have been in and out a bunch of times. Let's put a little bit of oil . All right, well, this is my second day working on this motor, or maybe third day. Anybody's got any ideas why it won't run, put a comment down. right, everybody, thanks for watching this entirely unsuccessful attempt at getting this Maytag Model 72 running. I've done pretty much everything. I don't know. I got spark. I put fuel directly in the cylinders. Nothing. No ignition. It's fresh gas. It's a fuel oil mix, but it's fresh gas. So I don't know. Compression, air, fuel, spark. What else is there? If you got any ideas, post them in the comments below. It just goes to show you not every YouTube video results in a success. So I'm going to sign off now. If I think of something, we'll revisit this. I'll do some more research. Maybe we will eventually get it running. I hope so. The other one was easy, so I'm surprised at how difficult this one has been. So, all right, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.